Hey guys, welcome back. The Champions League has returned and last night's opening group stage fixtures were pretty eventful. There are some more interesting encounters tonight. In this video, we're going to be focusing on AC Milan playing Liverpool at Anfield. So today I'll be previewing this game. It is actually AC Milan's first game back in the Champions League for 7 years. These Champions League videos are brought to you by Kitbag. As you can see here, they have some really great promos on their AC Milan range. This 1994 kit is only £35. You can shop on Kitbag using the link below. I've also left you a discount code as well. Remember, if you enjoy watching my football content, do subscribe for more. Without further ado, let's get into the preview for this pretty historic clash. Right, first up, let's talk through formations and playing styles. So Liverpool will most likely line up in a 4-3-3 formation, as that is Klopp's favourite formation, and I really can't see him changing it. Injury-wise, they're doing okay with only Firmino missing due to a muscle injury, and unfortunately in their game against Leeds, their bright starlet Harvey Elliott, he suffered that horrific ankle injury which will rule him out of action for the next few months. Taking these injuries into account, this is the starting lineup that I expect Klopp will put out. Like I said, 4-3-3, Alisson in goal, left back Robbo, centre back pairing of Van Dijk and Matip, right back Alexander-Arnold, centre mids I expect Thiago, Fabinho and Hendo. Then on the left, we'll probably see Mane, Jota as their striker, and lastly, Salah on the right. Now, most of us are pretty familiar with the playing style Klopp uses for the Reds, but let's go through it once again. So, generally speaking, Liverpool play with a narrow, compact midfield and forward line, while the progressive and attacking fullbacks of Robbo and Trent Alexander-Arnold, they provide the width. The striker normally drops, while one of the outside midfielders will push up between the lines to add to their attack. Their pressing system is well understood and a very effective means of attacking or counter-attacking from winning the ball back. But Liverpool have blended this modern approach with a more direct, functional style of play, which you could even call old-fashioned, really. With Van Dijk and then also the amazing capability of Alisson's passing range from the goalkeeping position, I think Liverpool added even more directness to their game, and this results in several interesting phases of play. Firstly, Liverpool play a lot of long diagonal passes to the wide areas, either looking for the winger on that side pulling even wider or the fullback pushing on or a runner from the midfield. Liverpool also like to open up the opposing crossing areas by just switching the play with crossfield passes, rather than shifting the ball across, as would be more often in the case of a possession-based team. These passes often go from fullback to fullback, pinged across the pitch in the air, into space the opposition fullback can attack. And again, it relies on pace and the direct approach catching out teams. They can't shuffle across, as you might defend a series of passes into space, and the sudden opening of the opposite wing creates space inside for runners to attack the cross. Lastly, Liverpool will also hit long balls forward, especially towards Firmino dropping in and then mop up the second ball or win it back with intense pressing. This fits more with Klopp's Gegen pressing style, but the use of long balls to create chances and to win turnovers from pressing, it's an interesting blend of a more sort of old-fashioned direct approach with Liverpool's high energy and very modern high-pressing game. Now let's talk about AC Milan. Formation-wise, Stefano Pioli will most likely line them up in a 4-2-3-1. Looking at their injury list, obviously Giroud tested positive for COVID on the 2nd of September. He won't be available for the game. Timothy Bakayoko, he came on against Lazio and suffered an ankle injury. He'll be out until October, so he's also unavailable for that Liverpool game. Considering this, I think this will be the most likely lineup tonight. So in goal, they've got Mike Mignon, and left back, they've got Theo Hernandez. At centre back, Alessio Romagnoli with Fikayo Tomori. At right back, David Calabria. Their defensive mids are Sandro Tonali and Frank Kessie. Then on the left, we should see Rafael Leao, a player who's actually started his season very well, 2 goals in 3 league matches. Their centre attacking midfielder is Brahim Diaz. And on the right, I think Alessandro Florenzi will start. Lastly, I expect Ante Rebic to be up top for Milan. One of AC Milan's greatest strengths this season has been their defensive fortitude and their ability to win the ball back from the opposition. The team adopt a very narrow 4-4-1-1 shape in defence, and they also show signs of counter-pressing when they are in possession. One of the most prominent features of their counter-press, it includes a double defensive midfield pivot of Franck Kessie and Ismail Bennacer or Sandro Tonali sitting deeper when the side attack. One of the two men will often drop into the defensive line to just provide cover for Theo Hernandez and David Calabria, as the other one just screens the back four and marks the opposition's number 10. In spells, without the ball in their own half, Milan's defensive shape and narrowness, it's meant that the team have won more tackles per game than any other team in the league. They've also been brilliant in the air. This is partially due to, of course, Zlatan's presence up front, but also their solidity at the back with the height and the strength of players like Alessio Romagnoli and Simon Kjær as well. It's definitely been effective at dealing with crosses into the box. AC Milan adopt a relatively high press, especially when Ante Rebic and Alexis Salamakers are in the side together. So Rebic is used to gegenpressing from his days at Frankfurt, while Salamakers is also quite an astute tackler and more defensively minded than other players in the side. Zlatan and Giroud are not necessarily aggressive pressers, which means that the team have to squeeze higher up the pitch and remain more compact when adapting to this approach. As Bennacer and Kessie drop into cover for the fullbacks in defence, they also perform a similar role in build-up phases, coming to the left or right of Milan's centre-backs to provide sort of a third option as the other midfielder completes a diamond shape. The team can look for direct passes into Zlatan to nod down for other players. Milan can also build up in a more traditional 4-2-3-1 shape, utilising the fullbacks, centre-backs and defensive midfielders as their key weapons for bringing the ball forward. With the fullbacks superb at pushing forward and making either overlapping or underlapping runs, the centre-backs or defensive midfielders, they're often awarded much more room to just bring the ball forward. Pioli's team have had the second most vertical approach to their attack this season, with that quartet of Kessie, Bennacer or Tonali, Simon Kjær and Romagnoli, often their most influential players in the build-up. But that's not to say that AC Milan don't use the wings as well, they just don't use them to the same extent as other teams, I guess. In build-up phases, Pioli's team will often overload the left, such as Rafael Leao or Zlatan drifting to that side to combine with Hernandez and the left winger, before looking for switches to the right. And they can actually also do the same thing on the right-hand side as well, overloading and switching quickly to free up space for Hernandez. With all of their talent across the pitch and the flexibility that they have in playing out from the back, I think AC Milan have a variety of methods for breaking teams down and scoring goals. When they come up against very narrow teams, they can easily go out wide and just utilise the fullbacks. And then when they come up against teams a bit more open, they're also pretty adept at going through their opposition and looking for incisive passes into the striker. When Zlatan is in their side, of course, their variety of attacking methods can be even more deadly. He's adept in the air, good with his feet. He still has a lot of speed and agility in him for someone approaching 40 years old. Considering his aerial presence, he can also nod the ball down for other players and he links up well with those three behind him. As mentioned, Milan will be missing him due to an Achilles injury, but I reckon they'll manage a good effort without him tonight. Overall, I do expect Liverpool to get the win, but not as comfortably as they'd like. I think this is AC Milan's best team in a while, and I don't think they'll go down without a fight. I think their midfield is their best area, and Pioli has set them up very, very nicely. I think it will be a tight game, but I do expect Liverpool to win by 1 goal, so I'm going to predict 2-1 to Liverpool. Well, there you have it, my match preview for the Liverpool AC Milan group stage game tonight. What are your predictions for it? Will you be watching? By the way, I'm actually playing a Champions League fantasy football, so if you guys have any leagues that you think I should be joining, just leave your league codes below and I'll join in. Remember, check out Kitbag's range, currently on promotion, and use the code below for a discount as well. If you did enjoy this video, hit the like button, do subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.